What the duck is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Duck Takes. As always, with me, my co-host, Garrett.
Hey, everybody.
And today we are going to be talking about the latest Star Wars show, Andor, a quite polarizing show. Disney Plus really went all out for this show. So that will be the topic of discussion today. Yesterday, our newest Patreon episode dropped, so make sure to check that out as well. We reviewed the original Lilo and Stitch. Garrett watched it for the first time for our Patreon movie night the other night. Crazy that he had never seen the original Lilo and Stitch. I hadn't seen it since childhood, so it was honestly great rewatching it.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
Don't know where that missing part of your childhood's at.
I don't either. Just never happened. Lilo and Stitch merch was always around me. I was very aware of its existence, just never took the time to watch it. I'm personally just gonna blame my parents for not showing me good movies as a kid.
Dude, after rewatching it, I would put it in top 5 Disney movies.
It's funny.
It's funny as hell. It's one of the more original Disney movies as well.
Yes, it's just a very original idea, very fresh.
The character designs are great. Characters are great. So make sure to check out that Patreon episode. We will also be doing our latest Epic Universe giveaway. The last one, the granddaddy of them all. Garrett, if you want to hand me that so I could show the video. So we had 4 Epic Universe giveaways for our Patreon members. So our last giveaway that we are doing is of this Toothless Loungefly backpack. Granddaddy prize of them all. So if you want to enter that giveaway, make sure to join our Patreon. All you have to be is a House Lannister tier and up to join our giveaways. And some other exciting news, we will be having Fantastic Four merch soon that we had our boy Drew cooking up, and it's going to be completely different from our usual duck variant merch.
Yeah, very, very excited about this one.
Very excited. I'm very excited. I'll wait, to explain it until we actually get it out there, but
it's going to be fantastic.
Say that again.
It's fantastic.
No, completely went off the roads for this one. Completely different from our usual merch, and but we're really excited for it. But yeah, let's talk about Andor, this I guess divisive Star Wars show.
Have you been? I don't know. Is it as divisive as it was a few weeks ago? I feel like I've been hearing more and more positive things about it rather than negative. But
yeah, no, it's obviously. I think the positive outweighs the negatives for sure.
I think so.
But it is definitely different from your typical Star Wars projects. Very grounded, very political. I mean, all Star Wars is political, right? There's wars in the title, Star Wars.
This highlights it.
It highlights it and the political side of the rebellion and everything. With the Senate and all that, Mon Mothma. But yeah, it is a very moody show. I think it's a very gritty show, but a very mature show. So a Star Wars project that I think a lot of adults wanted, in my opinion.
Yeah.
For the most part, that's you would think.
I would say so. I mean, Star Wars has always been for a very general audience. It's meant for kids, adults, everybody, but it is nice to get some of this grounded storytelling and, just a little bit darker, especially for those people that grew up with Star Wars. I mean, I don't know. It's nice to see projects that grow with their audience.
Yeah. And I mean, the most important part about this show is the writing. The writing's fantastic. And I mean, that's what makes any show as good as it is, it's something new in Star Wars, and people can come back at us and say, okay, well, why didn't you like the Acolyte? Well, this is the vast difference with the writing here, right? Acolyte was something different, but the writing is so much better in Andor, and it tackles things that were left up for interpretation. It doesn't try to retcon anything or.
Well, actually,
no.
All right. Well, technically, okay, I was going to wait till later, but this show and Rogue One is literally kind of one giant retcon. It really is.
Of A New Hope?
Yes. Because what was everybody's biggest complaint? I feel like everybody's biggest complaint,
was
biggest
how
plot
easy,
hole, was how easy the Death Star was able to be destroyed.
But
I haven't seen A New Hope in a while. I don't know if they...
Okay, so I just rewatched A New Hope last night.
Okay, do they give any kind of hint or indication as to why the Death Star can be destroyed like that?
Yes, they are. They are still chasing after. There are plans that are being transmitted to the Rebel base that they're trying to stop them from getting. So there are plans that are showing the, basically, it doesn't technically say like, this is the major weakness that was implemented in the Death Star because that's what Rogue One does. But it does show you the way, the one way to defeat the Death Star.
Okay, but everybody was like, this is a major design flaw. That was their problem. They're like, you're telling me with all the engineers, all the manpower, all the things that the Empire has going for them, they're not going to pay attention to that, and they're going to leave this one giant glaring problem in their massive destroyer of a weapon. And that was people's problem. And then now Rogue One being what explained this, it was intentional. There's a reason that it's there because it was put there by somebody who was in charge of creating the Death Star, but was actually against it. And he knew if he was, and he knew that even without him, they would still make the Death Star. But in this way, by taking that leadership role, he was just able to have more control over it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I mean, I feel like it was a necessary type of...
No, it is. But I'm just saying that you can look at Rogue One as just like one giant retcon of a movie.
Right. And they do say in A New Hope, we're going to test out the Death Star for the first time on Alderaan. However, we see in Rogue One that they do use it multiple times before Alderaan. Yeah,
but they hadn't blown up a planet yet.
No. And...
that was its full capability.
Clearly with, they hadn't blown up a full planet yet.
No, they just did it at like a lower energy level, and they just blew up the cities.
The city? Okay.
Yeah, they blew up
like certain parts.
On Skara, they blew up the facility where the Intel storage facility.
Yeah.
And they blew up Jeddah City.
Yes. Yeah, and so what does Disney do best? Prequels. So they decided, hey, let's make a show about this one character that we introduced in Rogue One, Andor, Cassian Andor. And yeah, it's a fantastic show. I recently watched season 1 for the first time. And the reason why I say it's kind of like divisive with Star Wars fans, I mean, Star Wars fans, there's always going to be a certain group that's not happy. I mean, it's fine to be critical of this franchise that you grew up loving. But I just find it like so interesting because, even Star Wars Theory, which like I can respect him on a level of like what he does with his lore videos and like his fan film stuff. That's all fine. But I watched a video of his the other week because he put out a video saying that he wasn't going to cover Andor anymore after episode 3, I believe, of season 2, because it didn't feel like Star Wars. And I'm just like out of all shows, you cover all of the Acolyte, you cover all of like the Book of Boba Fett, but you're not going to cover Andor?
Yeah.
That just is mind-boggling.
No, honestly, I do need to hear his like word for word opinions because I've heard everybody talk about Star Wars Theory, but not specifically what he said out of his mouth about Andor. But that's crazy to me. He does not like it. I genuinely feel like if you are a true Star Wars fan, this is one of the best things you could have hoped for to come out of Disney.
Well, and this is what I said this on one of my quick reviews on TikTok was like at its core, Andor does feel the most like Star Wars. Yeah. Like at its core with like its messaging and its theming.
Yes. And it's making me want to go back and rewatch the original trilogy.
And that's exactly what I'm doing right now.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I just watched Rogue One after finishing Andor, and now I'm moving on and I'm going to start A New Hope and all the way to Return of the Jedi. And I might hit the prequels up again, and then I'm going to the sequels, and we're going to tough it out there. Yeah. And I'll throw Han Solo in at some point.
I might stop at Return of the Jedi, but I mean, it's like falling in love with Star Wars all over again, which is just such a magical feeling.
Yes, it is.
That's what it is.
It really is. And this, bro, the entire show and the movie give me such original trilogy vibes.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
it's so good.
Yes. And based off of that, what you just said, like that's exactly what I said in my TikTok video. I was like, based off of the core theme of the original trilogies, I'm like, Andor is like the closest that we have to that.
Yeah.
Of the original messaging of Star Wars. And it's fantastic. I mean, we'll get into later of like where we place Andor amongst other Star Wars projects. We'll be doing our top 10 characters of Andor as well, and we'll be doing our top 5 episodes. And we'll mostly focus on season 2.
Yeah,
but just
we
like
both did watch season 1 prior to.
Yes. So you had seen season 1, but you rewatched it.
I rewatched it before I got into season 2.
Nice. Did you like it more the second time?
I think I enjoyed it the same. Like I remembered really liking it, but I think I paid more attention this time, so everything just kind of made more sense upon rewatching season 1. So
season 1 definitely like Cassian Andor's character definitely gets focused on more in season 1 than in season 2.
Yeah,
just because there's multiple arcs going on in season 2. But
season 2 did jump around a lot,
right,
with characters.
Right, both seasons introduce a lot of great characters. Obviously, probably the most memorable part of season 1 is the prison arc, where we do get Andy Serkis as Kino Loy.
Bro, he's so good.
That was such a good
episode.
I'm so
mad he didn't make it past that. Like I wish he could have like joined on as like another permanent member of the rebellion. Show. Yeah.
But see, and some people complained about those episodes, the prison arc.
The prison one was great.
They're so good.
It was so good.
It's so good.
Honestly, and I think that's like what's such a good part about this show is it shows you how the Empire affects people everywhere.
Yes.
Because, just Andor, Cassian, he's going everywhere.
Right.
Like he went to prison. He's going to all these different planets.
And that's something that you kind of miss in the original trilogy because it is just focusing on our main characters a lot. And Luke's Jedi training.
And you can just see the Empire's effect that it has on different planets and like what they're using your planet for.
Right.
Like they're using Jedha for Kyber. They're using Gorman for the material. I can't remember the name of the material, but it was another material they needed to build the Death Star. Yeah, and just being your average prisoner and like all the politics that was going on. Now you thought you were getting out in 6 months. Nope, you got another 6 years, buddy.
Yeah, and I mean, just like that in itself was a whole allegory of like private prison systems as well.
Mm-hmm.
So season 1, it takes place 5 years before the Battle of Yavin.
Yeah, BBY,
BBL.
Nope, not that. BBC.
What is that? Why are there so many acronyms for BB? Oh my God. A major part in the start of this rebellion is the planet of is it a city or a planet Ferrix?
BBW.
Okay. Jesus.
Ferrix, honestly, I genuinely don't know.
If it's like a planet, but I know it's a free trading city. Free trade city.
Yeah. I want to say it's the city.
The city,
because like
think so.
Ferrix is a very limited location that we see. But I mean, honestly, it's kind of funny because like when they refer to a planet, we only see like one spot of that planet.
Right.
So I don't know, but let's just call it Ferrix.
Ferrix. I mean, that's what it is. Ferrix. Yeah. And season 1 is where we get to see Andor's mom, Marva Andor, played by Fiona Shaw. And she gives a, great, compelling rebellion speech in the finale of that. One character that we get a few characters we get introduced in season 1 that I think really excel in season 2 in terms of like just character development is Dedra Meero.
Yeah.
Dedra Meero, played by Denise Gow, and Cyril Karn, played by Kyle Soller. Two fantastic characters that we get in this show.
Yeah.
And man, just like Cyril's determination to fulfill this need to capture Andor in season 1.
Yeah.
But his character goes through quite the development in season 2.
He really does. And I still go back to the very first episode and just think how all of this spiraled. Like talk about a butterfly effect. Like it started off with he was just looking for his sister. And he gets stopped by the wrong guys. And one of them accidentally gets killed in this confrontation. And then it spiraled into all of this with Luthen and everything. Just like threw him into this world. It's just crazy.
Yeah. That's how the rebellion started. No, but then we also get obviously Luthen Rail, played by Stellan Skarsgård. Stellan Skarsgård just gets better the older he gets.
He really does, man.
And again, like we just get some of the most compelling characters in all of Star Wars in this show.
Mm-hmm.
And come to realize like the rebellion is wouldn't be where it is without Luthen Rail. He's sort of like the, just the, I don't know how to even explain it. He's the behind the scenes guy that's like having his hands in all these different roles.
The Nick Fury of Star Wars?
Oh, wait, no. What was my comparison to him? I thought of him. He reminded me of
did you compare Cecil? Did you compare it to Cecil?
No, I think that was Dan on Goodwill Podcasting.
Who would you compare?
Dude, no, I literally thought of him. Maybe I texted it to myself. He reminded me of someone. I don't think it was Nick Fury though. Maybe since I was watching Game of Thrones, maybe it was Tywin Lannister.
Oh wait, no, Littlefinger.
Littlefinger. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's who it was. I was like, I feel like it was someone from Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because Tywin will do some of that stuff like behind the scenes, but like Littlefinger will put on.
That's his life.
Yeah, Littlefinger will put on a front just for his benefit. And we'll dive deeper into his character about season 2. But yeah, Luthen Rail reminded me like the Littlefinger of Game of Thrones.
Yeah. You mean the Littlefinger
of Star Wars, yeah. And so once we get to season 2, it really does switch up the structure of this show. Again, it was 12 episodes, just like season 1. But what they do this time is they give you a different arc every 3 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
So we get 4 different arcs, and each one takes place a year after the other, leading up to Rogue One.
Yeah. It wasn't the original plan they were going to do, like, all these were going to be separate seasons.
So the original plan was 5 seasons, and then they were like, okay, maybe 3, but they said 5 seasons just wasn't doable because of the scale of the show.
Mm-hmm.
I think between seasons 1 and 2, they put in like $400 million into Andor. Definitely the most money out of any Star Wars TV show for sure. And I mean, you can feel the scale of this show. Like this.
Dude, all the sets and everything is crazy.
Like, it does not feel like a Disney Plus show.
No.
So because they turned it into 4 different arcs, did you feel that season 2 was rushed in any way? Do you wish that you could have gotten more seasons of Andor?
I mean, I wouldn't complain about getting more, seasons of Andor. I think like they probably could have stretched this maybe like 1 more season. They could have.
Honestly, I would say just 1 more, maybe max. Like honestly, I'm not mad that they only did 2 seasons because it's like one of those things where it's like it's better you stop while you're ahead.
Yeah. I mean,
I think 5 seasons may have been a little too much.
I think, yeah. No, for sure. Like I'm saying, like 3 seasons, I think would have been like also just as good.
Mm-hmm.
Because I do wish that we got to see a little bit more of like the development of the rebellion on Yavin. I feel like we didn't really get to see a whole lot of that.
So it's funny you say that because writer Tony Gilroy, who wrote, was the showrunner of Andor, said he didn't really want to tap into Yavin for too much because Yavin is one of those things in Star Wars where he was just like, he's afraid to just, which makes sense, like just afraid to touch up on Yavin and maybe like, I don't know, it's a sensitive thing in the original trilogy. So he kind of wanted to stray away from Yavin.
All right, that makes sense.
Yeah. Told his writer's room to get rid of any nostalgia that you felt for the original trilogy when writing Andor. Because when we get to the final episode of Arc 9 with Mon Mothma, I was expecting to see a little more of her on Yavin.
Yeah.
Which we don't get. But, I'm not mad at Andor stopping after 2 seasons. I'm really not.
No, I'm not either. It was a good buildup. It was a good buildup to Rogue One.
Right. And, it is something different. Like, I was worried how this show would feel giving us a different arc 3 episodes at a time and then jumping a year for each one. I was worried about that, but it worked.
It did. I will admit there are like a few times where I was like, I had to like remember myself. I was like, oh shit, like we're a year in the future now.
Right.
Especially, and I think what kind of triggered that for me was when they were showing that safe house, that apartment again.
Yeah.
And like it would change so drastically between the arcs when we would see it. And I'm like, oh yeah, duh. Like I gotta remember that.
Right. So yeah, I mean, I'm not crazy. I'm not disappointed in that aspect. I know some people may think that, you know, the ending was a little rushed, but honestly, no, the first 3 arcs of this season were really good. And there's still a few great episodes in that final arc as well.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you give season 2 of Andor out of 10?
I'll go. God, this rating system is so arbitrary. But I'll go like 8.8.
8.8.
Yeah.
That's an interesting number you come to.
Yeah.
I'll go 9 out of 10.
9?
Yeah.
I was thinking 9, but it's like high 8 or low 9s. Like it's somewhere within that range.
I think it's definitely a 9 for me.
Okay.
I like at least a 9. So you like season 1 more than season 2?
Give me a second.
No, it's tough because like season 2 has a lot of great episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
season 2 has really good highs.
It does.
It has really good highs.
But it doesn't have low lows either.
That's true.
In my opinion.
All right. Yeah, I think 8.8 might have been rough.
Because I think season 1 is more of a slow burn. It's definitely more central with its characters and its focus. But I think season 2 jumps off to a hotter start.
Mm-hmm.
I also really like.
Shit. All right. Actually, no. I take that back. All right. I take that back. I take that back. All right. I take it back. Yeah. I don't know why I said that. Let's go.
I have a feeling you're gonna say 9.2.
I was gonna say 9.1.
9.1. Okay.
I'm going 9.1, and I think I like it a little better than season 1.
Part of me does feel like I do enjoy it a little more than season 1 as well.
Yeah.
I mean, the prison arc is top tier.
It's top tier
in season 1.
Yeah, it is.
I really do enjoy season 1. I mean, they're both great seasons.
Yeah.
Both fantastic. But there is something about season 2, and I think it's it's that third arc with
yes,
episodes 8 and 9 that just so, oh my God. No, they're both fantastic. Both absolutely fantastic. So let's go over each arc that we have. So we got 4 different arcs that take place. The first one, Andor is trying to steal a prototype of a new Imperial ship, the TIE Avenger, ambushed by a rogue band of squabbling guerrillas when attempting to deliver the ship. Bix and the rest of her crew are on an agricultural planet trying to evade the Empire, and Mon Mothma is back home on Chandrila preparing for her daughter's wedding. And this is what I meant when this episode was off to a hotter start, because episode 3 in this, I think, has a great editing sequence when we have Mon Mothma just like dancing her pain away on the dance floor.
Yeah.
And this like great Star Wars club music.
I didn't see it like that of what she was doing.
What'd you see it as?
I saw it as her maintaining appearances while she's really dealing with all this shit on the inside. She didn't seem like she was enjoying herself. Her soul was gone while she was her body was going through the motions at this wedding. That's how I saw it.
Yeah.
She was literally just maintaining appearances, not dancing her pain away.
I don't think she needed to dance, though, to maintain an appearance.
It seemed pretty traditional that everybody that was at that wedding was on the dance floor. There wasn't like a single person that was just hanging out.
Oh, yeah. I think
and she
had
is
to be
the
on
mother
there.
of the bride.
Yeah, I think she had to be on there.
Yeah.
Again, another the great thing about this show too was just like the attention to details, like you were saying with the cultures.
Yeah.
Little great details in there with the Chandrila wedding.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, at the same time, while this is happening, and we have back on the agricultural planet with Bix and the rest of that crew, the Empire finds them.
Mm-hmm.
And episode 3 is where we get the grape scene. And this was another big complaint amongst the Star Wars fandom.
Yeah.
Again, I think a small part of the Star Wars fandom, But another thing that Star Wars theory just wasn't having.
Oh, it's not that unrealistic.
Right. So he said that grape didn't belong in Star Wars.
Oh, so Star Wars is better than that now.
And that Darth Vader and the Empire wouldn't stand for that. Like, they wouldn't allow it. And I'm just like, look here. Now, you can make an argument with Darth Vader. If Darth Vader is like in the same room witnessing this,
yeah,
sure.
Yeah, he's not going to approve.
Right.
I agree.
But
he is a lone officer on the outskirts
of Mustafar.
What?
On the outskirts of Mustafar. Or are you talking about the
Graper? The fucking officer, bro.
The
not
officer.
Vader.
Yeah.
No, he's literally like, I'm certain that the planet that they're on is probably on the outer rim. You know,
right.
like
yes.
Not really highly maintained by, empirical forces.
Yeah.
Which is why they were so surprised to even see Empire ships flying there.
Yes.
So yeah, I feel like the protocols and whatnot are going to be a little bit more ignored the further away you get from the capital of the Empire. It's not
like Vader's going through files of this shit.
Yeah,
and and like we're saying, like Vader is a straight up murderer, but he ain't a graper.
No, he's not.
So like, sure, make the argument for Vader, but it's not like him and Palpatine are fucking going through files like, hey, this Imperial officer did this to a woman. Like, no. And obviously, like, Imperial officers of the Empire, a lot of that power is going to go to their head. Like, there's a lot of sick, twisted fucks in the Empire.
Yep.
Like, the show is not trying to make the Empire a gray area by any means. And so being the mature show that Andor is, I don't see any problem with this scene. Like,
I mean, there's a problem.
Right, there's a problem with it.
But I have no questions that this is something that's very real that definitely could have happened in this world.
Right. And it's something that makes this Andor world more real.
Yeah.
More realistic. And not to mention, I mean, Bix fights back, bro.
Yeah, she does. And she wins.
And she wins.
Beats the shit out of that guy.
So, like, it's also a powerful female moment. So, I mean.
There you go. Yeah, Bix ain't no bitch, bro.
Right.
She will fight you.
Right. So, no, this is not something that makes me want to turn off Star Wars.
No. I mean, granted, yes, it made me very uncomfortable when that guy was coming on to her.
That's what it's supposed to do.
Yeah, that's how you're supposed to feel. That was not supposed to be a comfortable scene to watch.
So I 100% believe that this would occasionally happen within the Empire's fingers.
Yeah, their ranks.
Yeah. But so we get that scene going on as they're trying to, and Andor's also racing back to this planet as well.
Yeah, the entire arc, he's just trying to get back to the planet because he's supposed to meet Bix and them.
But we just get such high energy in this scene with the editing back and forth between Mon Mothma, because that's also the point where at that wedding, her daughter just told her off like a fucking bitch.
Her daughter's a bitch.
Mon Mothma's daughter sucks ass.
She sucks.
She tries to have a touching moment with her daughter.
Yeah. Just be like, hey, if you don't want to go through with this, you don't have to. Just like trying to give her that comfortability of that option. And she goes, I wish you were drunk.
Fucking bitch, man. And so that's going on, but also her friend and also financer at this point of the rebellion, Tay, is now a liability.
Yeah.
And
because he's not happy where the rebellion has left him financially.
Right. And so Luthen ain't gonna have this shit.
Yeah.
So we know something's gonna happen to him. Meanwhile, it's editing back and forth between that and Cassian trying to get back and in this TIE fighter. So episode 3 was honestly a great episode.
It was a good episode.
Second arc, Gorman starts to become a pivotal part in the rebellion and the Empire's plan for terror. Cyril is sent to feed the Gorman rebels reliable Imperial information as a trap, but is left out of what's really taking place with the ISB and Dedra. And Andor is sent to Gorman to report to Luthen. Meanwhile, Luthen and Clea need to weasel their way out of getting caught by the Empire and their own plans. We see in the end of episode 6 when they have to remove the bug that they implemented. And
this is Great episode.
That was another great episode.
Clea.
Yes. Clea.
Underrated character.
I don't think she's underrated anymore, brother.
Maybe not.
I don't think she's getting the attention she deserves.
Yeah.
Elizabeth Dula. And by the way, Andor was her first acting gig after graduating drama school.
That's crazy.
So season 1 of Andor was her first acting gig.
She's a badass.
She's a badass. And when they saw how great she was in season 1, they decided to give her a larger part in season 2. And it was executed so perfectly. And yeah, her character was absolutely fantastic. My God. It's funny because I followed her on Instagram, and after the finale, she is just getting like thousands of followers each day now. I think when I followed her, she was around 43,000. Now she's at like almost 80,000 after the finale.
All right.
So she's getting her recognition.
Good.
Yeah, Gorman was interesting.
Yeah.
It was interesting.
I pointed out earlier, that was another interesting aspect with like the cultures that they added to this show. They just created this entire planet based off of their economy of selling this like really nice fabric made of the silk that the spiders they have on that planet. Right. But yeah, all the while, it was interesting to see how quickly Gorman got turned upside down simply off of the Empire's interest in them alone. Yeah,
so I mean, their interest was collecting a element.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of the material.
Was it not a Kyber?
That wasn't Kyber. No, it was another one that they were using.
Okay.
But yeah, Kyber was Jeddah. That's where they got the majority of their Kyber crystal.
Yeah, you're right. But it was another element that they needed for the Death Star.
And they were trying, and it actually surprises me that they said that they were trying to come up with an alternative solution rather than mining it from Gorman. But part of me feels like that was just a cover. Yeah. Like part of me feels like that was the Emperor. He like just telling his own ISB employees, just saying like, hey, we're working on an alternative, but in case this doesn't work out, we may need to mine from Gorman, which will most likely destroy the planet. And so I feel like that attempt made those agents feel a little bit better about it, but part of me feels like there was no attempt. They were just giving some BS excuse, and they were gonna go to Gorman no matter what. It didn't matter.
And so Cyril is sent to this planet as well. So like, didn't
Dedra send him there?
Dedra, yeah. So it looks like a demotion.
Yeah,
but he's thinking that he's helping the ISB out. And he is.
Yeah, he is.
But at the same time, he doesn't really know what's going on while Dedra does. Also, they get together. Yeah. They're like a couple.
They are a couple.
And they're a very interesting couple.
Yeah.
I actually do like the scene. I think we saw it in the first arc of season 2.
When he gets home really quick.
No. When his mom comes over.
Yeah.
When his mom comes over for dinner. And I knew at one point Dedra was like going to shut some shit down.
Because she just constantly treats him with disrespect.
Yeah.
And she had to stand up for her man and be like, you're going to show some fucking respect.
Yeah.
You're not going to act this way.
But it's funny how I liked how Dedra and Cyril just like fed off of each other.
They did. Honestly, they
both had high aspirations.
Yes. But they also both like kind of fell into their roles. Like Cyril's always been this kind of like submissive guy that's always looking for approval. And Dedra, weird as it sounds, was kind of like that mother type of figure in this relationship that was giving him the approval, because she's always going to have like more power in this dynamic simply based off of her rank alone.
Right.
It was like his admiration for her professionally turned into love.
Yeah,
it was an interesting thing.
Because he looked up to her.
Yeah.
And was obsessed with her. And that ended up saving her in season 1
by being a stalker, but yes,
by being a stalker. It was weird, but
I mean that was enough to win her affection. Right. So it was a very interesting dynamic between those two characters.
Because here's the thing, and probably why Dedra she was put off by it at first, but kind of also enjoyed it, because I mean, growing up in the Imperial system, she never felt that like love before, like that admiration or no one like looked up to her. No one
That sense of recognition.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, that's kind of what both of them were looking for.
Right.
And even if it wasn't from the place that she wanted it from, like she wanted it from her superiors for them to like recognize her talent and ability.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, there was, Cyril looking at what she was doing.
Right. Yeah. Cause, Dedra would get that from, what was his name? Major Pardis. Pardis. Played by Anton Lesser. Leader.
Yeah.
He was good.
In
Game of Thrones.
Qyburn.
In
Right?
What?
That's his name, right?
In Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember his name, but yeah.
Qyburn.
He becomes the Maester.
Yeah.
Grand Maester.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm at the season
he becomes Hand.
Does he at one point?
Yeah, he was Cersei's Hand.
Okay, well now I forget that.
Spoiler,
I gotta write it down now. I'm trying to write down what I forget about Game of Thrones.
Such a spoiler. Oh my God.
I'm at the part now where he's trying to essentially revive the mountain. And he kicks out Maester Pycelle. Fuck Maester Pycelle. I hate Maester Pycelle so much.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I hate Maester Pycelle so much.
You ever see that deleted scene between him and Tywin?
No.
Oh, it's so good.
What is it?
So you know how he's always like walking with his hunched over back and he's
faking it.
Almost like a woman. Yeah. Well, how do you know he's faking it?
In season 2, they show that he's faking it.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. Okay.
When he's fucking some whore and
yes.
Well, this is getting a little explicit.
Jesus Christ, Blake. No, but so he goes to Tywin and he at this point Tyrion had taken him off of the council and like demoted him. He wasn't like Maester anymore because remember when Tyrion went in, he had his beard cut and all that.
Yes.
So Tywin is now in King's Landing.
Yes.
He's Hand of the King.
Yes.
And he was trying to convince Tywin to put him back on the council and like give him his position back basically. But he's like, well, I haven't, taken away the last decree made by the temporary Hand of the King. So that law is like still in order since he said that. And he's like basically like sitting there whimpering, crying. I don't understand. It's not fair. Da da da.
Yeah.
And Tywin was just so fed up. He's like, am I the only one to see through this performance? He knew he was faking all that shit. And then he corrects his back and he's like, there are times I have a hard time believing it myself. I butchered that horribly, but
I get what you're saying though.
Yeah, and he was explaining how he's like, so many flowers in King's Landing, all wanting to grow the tallest, and he's like, but the ones that grow the tallest, they get plucked. He's like, I simply want to remain in the garden. So that's why he does this whole charade.
So many good analogies in Game of Thrones.
So that's why he does this whole charade just so he can like stay under the radar.
Yeah.
It was very interesting.
Oh, that's great.
It was, dude, Tywin interactions are so good.
Tywin's he's a top tier character.
He really is.
And we're going to do an episode where we have a tier list of Game of Thrones characters. Especially after my rewatch. Maybe we'll do it a little bit before because I don't think I need to watch season 8 to do a tier list of Game of Thrones characters, but or a rewatch of it. I've seen it before, obviously.
Yeah.
But just started season 5, bro. I'm blazing through it.
You are blazing through it.
But anyway, back to Andor. And see, I feel like we're on the topic of Game of Thrones. Andor gives off that type of Game of Thrones like dialogue. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like where I'm just like,
you're so intrigued with every conversation.
Yeah, it's very stimulating. But what we were talking about, Gorman, Cyril, Dedra.
Yeah, we're on the second arc right now.
Yes.
And he's getting introduced to the rebels. He's made contact with the rebels that are on Gorman.
Yes. And this is all happening. We see Krennic.
Yeah.
Krennic is in charge of what's actually happening on Gorman.
Yeah.
Cyril doesn't know what Krennic is planning, but Dedra does.
Yeah.
And she's the one that kind of gave him advice on what to do with Gorman as well.
Mm-hmm.
Krennic is we get some great interactions with Krennic later in this show.
Yeah, we do. We don't see too much of Krennic in this though.
No, you don't. But when he's in it,
it's good.
It's good. We also get to see more of Vel and Cinta in this arc as well.
Mm-hmm.
I knew Cinta wasn't going to make it. Knew it.
Bro, the second they started talking about their future and everything, and then when they were like, nobody has a blaster but me and her, and I was like, Yeah, I was like, some dumbass is gonna bring a blaster, and the second I heard that blaster go off, I knew who got shot. It was just too predictable.
So let me ask you this. Vel in season 1, she's definitely more badass, but, well, no, she does show moments of weakness even when they were telling her in that heist episode on Al-Thani.
Yeah.
You know, she was showing hesitation when she needed to make the call.
Yeah.
But I feel like her character just really kind of became, I don't know, just like...
Very tame.
Very tamed, yeah. More weak. I don't know. But
they don't focus on Vel too much, honestly.
No, not too much. Not as much as I did in season 1. And
well, because she was a big part of that original like little arc they had of the robbery. It's crazy. I low-key forgot how many people did not make it out of that robbery.
Yeah.
Like literally it was just Cassian and
Vel
that survived that, which is insane.
Cousin doesn't make it.
Nope. Okay. Nah, but I just thought, you know, especially when they introduce you to these characters, and here I am thinking like, you know, this might be like our little squad of, you know, soldiers of the rebellion. Nobody makes it.
The rebellion is costly.
Dude, that's the other thing about this show. You never know who's going to get got next.
Yeah, you kind of don't, honestly.
You really don't.
And that's a good thing.
Another Game of Thrones
Another
thing.
Game of Thrones, man. Just look at Game of Thrones.
Yep. Star Wars Game of Thrones.
Yeah. So episode 6 of season 2, you know, ends this final arc, or not the final arc, but the second arc that we have going on. And we get this fantastic scene at this, Senate party? Yeah, it's a party, but I think for the Senate.
Yeah.
Yes. And Luthen and Clea need to attend this party and remove the bug that they put in one of their antiques that they sold to a buyer, and it's in the Senate. And we get this really intense moment of just Clea trying to remove this bug while Krennic is in the same room. Third arc, I think, is the most intense arc that we get probably in this whole show, especially episode 8 and 9, where, pain. It's just pain in the third arc. You know, the Empire has occupied Gorman, and Dedra is there. Cyril is there. And
this is all the worlds colliding.
This is worlds colliding right here. Because also, Cassian is back on Gorman as well, sent by Luthen, and he's thinking it's going to be just a simple mission, you know, a safe mission, as he told Bix. It's just simple. Meanwhile, Bix is living on Yavin 4 at this point. And fuck me, bro. Yeah, this arc was just crazy.
Yeah, this went pretty wild.
This was crazy, and we get the whole.
Well, they had taken over this complex for a while now. Kind of like. Just keeping everybody out. It was clearly under heavy occupation. Like we saw what this looked like when Cassian first visited Gorman, when he was in the disguise and everything. Like it was a very active place, restaurants, people, you know, chattering and everything. Now it's just a base for the Empire. Is all it is.
Yeah, because of the reason the Gormans were entering into the place to protest was because they were opening back up the plaza for the first time.
They opened up the plaza, and this is exactly what they wanted.
This is what the Empire wanted.
They wanted them to start getting riled up. They wanted them to, you know, resist. And we saw the crowd, like, you know, they were singing, they were chanting, but nobody was throwing the first punch on the rebel side.
No, it was the Empire that shot first.
Yeah.
But that's what they wanted.
Empire shot first. I mean, and then after that, it was just, you know, all out warfare. Going on.
Meanwhile, Cyril is finding out like what's actually taking place.
Dude, that scene was crazy. That scene was crazy.
When he confronts Dedra.
I did not expect that to come out of him.
And that's when he assaulted her, but he overcame his infatuation with her. Stood up to her.
And
was like, no, this is wrong. Bro, what you're doing.
Choked her out. Like forced her to tell the fucking truth. He was gonna kill her. He was. He knew there was some devious shit going on.
Yeah, this is why I'm saying like the development for his character it just was so intriguing because honestly, I think Cyril really just wanted like Like he didn't want all of what the Empire was doing. He just wanted.
Well, he wanted to be the good guy.
Yeah,
he really did, and he thought the Empire was the way to do that.
And his main ambition for going out in search for Cassian was because he just wanted to get him for murdering.
Yeah.
2 coworkers.
Yeah, he didn't want to abide murder.
Not coworkers, but I guess coworkers, but
Oh, they were.
I guess so.
But
yeah, that was literally his reasoning. He just wanted to uphold the law in that aspect. Like he's a murderer, so we need to go focus on this.
But anything less is unacceptable.
Right.
He knew the rule of law and he respected that. He's low key like Saul's brother in
Chuck McGill.
Yeah, he's the Chuck McGill. The law is sacred. No,
yeah.
But
and Luthen was kind of like Jimmy McGill, where he's just like this great character where you think you have him figured out, and sometimes he does the right thing, but a lot of the times he also does the fucked up thing.
Low key, yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, once he found out the true plans of what was going on Gorman, he was not happy to say the least.
No. And dude, what took place there was just fucking crazy. Followed by the next episode when we get Mon Mothma's speech about what happened on Gorman. And fantastic speech, by the way.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised that Disney Plus actually let her say genocide.
Yeah.
Considering like what's going on with the wars and everything with Israel and Palestine. And
Very, very Padme-esque.
Yeah. But it's crazy because also like this is a show that was written before those wars started as well.
Mm-hmm.
The universe is
weird.
A weird place.
Weird coincidences.
But once again, art imitating life, life imitating art.
Goes both ways.
So 2 fantastic episodes and probably 2 of the best episodes of TV this year.
Bro, that confrontation between Cyril and Cassian though.
Yeah. It's like Thanos and Wanda.
Dude, it was so sad too. Because I low-key think that they would have been on the same side. They kind of were. They kind of were. Like, bro, at that point, the Empire had lost Cyril. Like, they had lost his devotion at that point after learning the truth about what they were doing on Gorman. And clearly, Cassian is not with that. He's part of the Rebel Alliance.
But also, he's the one that also said, like, the rebels weren't ready on this planet either.
Mm-hmm.
So.
No, but just like the second that he saw Cassian, all those feelings of, 3 years ago at this point, and, him, the whole murder situation and ruining his career at that point as well, all that just came flooding back, and he had no other instinct than to just punch Cassian in the face. And
you took everything from me.
And little did
I don't even know who you are.
And little did he know he also saved Dedra's life in the process.
Yeah. And Dedra will never know that either.
Nope.
Yeah. I'm sure we'll be discussing that episode more when we do our episode ranking. But and then it's just followed by an amazing political drama episode with episode 9, and then Cassian rescuing Mon Mothma to Yavin. How did you feel about the recast of Senator Organa?
I didn't care.
No, I thought it was fine.
It's honestly scheduling conflicts. What can you do?
Right?
Like,
yeah.
It's a big show with a lot of characters to encompass. It's like it's not. I was like, it's not gonna be.
Low-key might even be a better Senator Organa, if I'm not gonna lie.
Low-key. I mean, yeah, no, I had no problem. I thought the actor did a great job, and like I said, it's scheduling conflicts. This is the real world. Not everything's gonna be perfect when you're doing shows on this scale, and you want everyone that you can, but it doesn't always happen. So deal with it. But I thought he had a great portrayal. So who cares?
For sure. And that was, Mon Mothma's moment. That was her welcome to the rebellion moment as well, as Cassian said to her.
Yep.
Then we get to the 4th arc, the final one, where following the events of Gorman, Lonnie accesses Dedra's personal files and learns what the Empire is really working on to relay that to Luthen. Dedra is on to Luthen, though, as he starts to destroy the communication system in the shop. Kleya has to finish the job, and Dedra is arrested. We get a whole backstory on Luthen and Kleya as she awaits for the Rebel fleet to save her. And we see Andor come to the rescue with Few and K2SO.
That was the next episode. Yeah.
Yeah. Finale concludes with them rescuing Clea, and it leads into Rogue One. And I was shocked to get like a whole backstory episode that late into the show. But it worked. It worked because usually you would get that periodically throughout the season.
Mm-hmm.
But it worked here considering what happened in the previous episode. And this is where Clea just takes over the show, bro.
Yeah, for real. Before we get into that though, can we talk about Luthen and Lonnie's meeting? And how that ended?
Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying.
Bro.
That's why he's like, it's like, you think you have him figured out.
He's such an asshole.
That's what I'm saying.
He's such an asshole.
He's like the Saul Goodman of this show.
Bro, after everything Lonnie did for him, staying in there, like Luthen was the only reason he was still there.
Okay, but let's think about this.
Fucking wanted out.
Let's think about this though. If Luthen really did get Lonnie to Yavin 4, would that have? I feel like the Empire would have been able to track Lonnie down.
How?
Some way, somehow.
Wow, so specific. Thank you. Nah, bro. There's ways to get out. Look at freaking Senator Mothma, bro. You kidding me?
That's true.
She was a high status person in the Empire, in the Imperial Senate, and she was able to get out and make it to Yavin. You're telling me they couldn't do the same with Lonnie?
She was part of the Senate. It's not like she didn't work for ISB. She didn't work for the Empire.
The fuck does that mean?
I mean, I think there's a level of
what?
Some sort of.
You think they put a fucking tracker in his arm? Like, what are you talking about? How would they? Why is that? Why does that make it harder to leave?
I think it does.
If anything, it gives him more clearance to get out of places.
I mean, not after they discover, because they were on.
Correct, but he could have used his clearance as long as it still worked to get a ship, get whatever, and just leave.
Yes. Yeah, no, I wasn't expecting Luthen to do that.
No, I wasn't either. I saw him dead on the bench, and I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me, Luthen?"
Yeah.
And he constantly said, "I have a wife and kid."
I know.
Trying to get his wife and kid to a safe spot, and you know damn well no message was passed along to get them in a safe place.
I know. But see, and then Luthen will do that, but then also kill himself literally for the rebellion.
Yeah, I know. And, you know, I think the fact that he's willing to do that himself, like kill himself for the rebellion, I think the fact that he's willing to do that, he's like, everybody else who I work with, they should hold themselves to that same standard. And if they won't do it, I'll do it for them.
Right.
Because
I sacrificed a sunset I know I'll never see.
Yeah. Yeah, no, because he, like, once he saw himself as a liability, done. Once he sees somebody else as a liability, also done. Get him out of there.
Almost to a fault. Where he almost, in the end of the first season, you know, Andor, he almost kills Andor, but
yeah,
I guess he just...
Also saw him as a liability. Yeah. Cut him out.
Right.
No loose ends. And Clea followed in his steps because she did the same thing.
Yeah. And you see why in the backstory episode as well.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I know I was interested by their relationship from the beginning. I was like, how, you know, why do they have such a trust for each other?
Right.
And that did answer a lot of questions.
Tony Gilroy also wanted to put in those episodes to really make sure that no one thought there was any romantical relationship there. But
I never thought there was.
I never thought that
I always
either.
got father-daughter complex going on.
Yeah. No, I never thought a romantical.
Yeah.
Romantic, whatever. Fucking words.
Romantical is not a fucking word.
It should be.
No, it shouldn't.
Why not?
Dude, I think you're saying that.
Mystical?
No, I think you're saying.
Romantical?
Romance? Romantic.
Romantical.
Mystic. Mystical.
Makes sense.
Whatever.
It's a word now. I just made it up, bitch.
No, you didn't make it up. You're getting it from that fucking clip in the prison.
Oh, yes.
Kiss me on my hot mouth. I'm feeling romantical. That's what you're getting it from. You didn't make that up.
Even more the reason to use it. I'm feeling romantical.
Shut up, bro. God.
Oh, shit.
Bro thinks he's original. He's really Jason Tatum.
That's crazy. You know what's crazy? I just watched a full ass video on that of TikTok today.
The top 5 copycat moments.
Yes. It's crazy.
It's wild.
The copycat is crazy.
Anything's possible. Anything's possible. We did it. We did it. It's fucking insane.
It's pretty wild.
But yeah, no, back to Clea. Badass. Holy shit, dude. She could have been doing Cassian's job this whole time.
Yeah.
She knew how to enter the building, she got in, got a disguise, was able to get to the level that she needed to, figuring out where they're going. I don't know. They thought they had a team of rebels that was able to kill Luthen. Yeah. And it was just her.
Fantastic.
And she played it off so well. She was like, I'm looking for Dr. Erskine or whatever. I don't even know what she said, but I'm looking for Dr. Erskine holding that behind the thing. Bam. How quick she was with shooting people, no hesitation, was insane.
Dude, there was a funny ass moment as well when she was in the elevator with that old lady.
Yeah.
I don't know why that cracked me up. That old lady, she was like, eh? And she's like, what? It just cracked me the fuck up. Like the only funny moment in this show. But all right, let's get to some questions that we have from the Discord, as well as our top 10 characters and top 5 episodes of Andor. So first question that we have from the Discord, and remember, if you want to join our Discord, hop on our Patreon, and the link to join our Discord will be on there. We always ask for questions and suggestions for our episodes. First one that we have is, do you think the show should have been extended to 3 to 5 seasons? So I know we were talking about this earlier. I think 5 is unnecessary.
Bit much.
3, I think, would have been
just fine.
Would have been good.
They could have done what they could have done is do like 6 episode arc, time jump, 6 episode, and then do the same thing in another season. And then I think it would have been fine. And also, and maybe fill in like a little bit of the gaps that we get in these 3 episode arcs.
Next question is, where is Andor on your Star Wars ranking?
Of everything?
Of everything. So we'll start off easy. In terms of the live action TV shows that Disney Plus has put out, at the top easily.
Of live action, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's like up there. It's like on Clone Wars level. I know it's animated, but it's Clone Wars level quality for sure.
But Clone Wars gets stronger as it goes on.
Yeah.
The first few seasons.
Yes. I know, but like
not as strong.
I'm just talking about how much I like it.
Yeah. Final season of Clone Wars, I mean.
Yeah.
It's
fire. Of all Star Wars projects, I mean, it's 100% top 5.
Yeah.
It's top 5 for sure.
It's top 5.
That's the only thing I can guarantee you right now. I don't want to give an official ranking of anything Star Wars projects until I do this full rewatch, which I will be doing.
Top 5, I would put... Damn, in terms of Star Wars projects, I mean, Revenge of the Sith, Empire Strikes Back,
Return of the Jedi,
Clone Wars, and Andor.
No Mandalorian.
I think it's just outside. Season 3 hurts it.
Season 3 hurts it. Yeah, it's solid top 5 of Star Wars. Yeah. And then we got Rebels, which also might just be outside of it.
Rebels is good. I don't think people need to put some respect on Rebels.
They do need to put respect on Rebels.
Yeah, I think it's solid.
I think it's a solid top 5.
A solid top 5 for sure. Andor is definitely in the top 5
for sure.
And you could argue that Andor might be the most important Star Wars project since the original trilogy.
Why is that?
What we were talking about earlier. In terms of the core of Star Wars and what Star Wars really means, the theming of it, the messaging of it.
Fighting tyranny and all that.
Andor is the closest that we got to the original core of Star Wars.
Yeah.
And it also showed us what the fuck Disney Plus can do. They can put out a good show. You got something for me?
Literally one of my questions. Does it annoy you that Disney was always capable of peak but made bullshit like Book of Boba Fett?
I mean, obviously it's always disappointing, right?
Yeah.
Because you know what they're capable of.
Yeah.
And when you put in the money that they do into the sets of Andor into the writing room of Andor.
Yeah, I was like, dog, take even the money away from it. Just the writing alone. Made it 1,000 times better than Book of Boba Fett. And yeah, oh my God, the set in Book of Boba Fett compared to this is nothing. Right. And do you remember that shot where you can see the top of a building? Do you remember that?
No. In Book of Boba
Fett, there's a flaw. You can see like the camera pans, and as it's panning, like the corner of a building, you can see the open like wood behind the set because it's not covered.
Oh no, I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Obviously it's disappointing. And I mean, one thing that Andor didn't surrender to was the 6-episode format as well. First season, 12 episodes. Second season, 12 episodes. And they weren't no 30-minute episodes either. Nope. Some of those episodes were an hour long.
It was like an actual show.
Yes.
Like how shows used to be.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's also another great positive about Andor.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think it's a good thing. Like I think it shows, hey, let's take this positive and run with it. Obviously it's a good thing that we got this. And it's a good thing that, you know, Disney made this show. It's freaking incredible. We love it. But part of me feels like they really were just getting greedy, you know? They were looking for what's the next merchandise we can sell the most. No, not even that. But what is the cheapest shit we can do with a big name? Yeah.
And not put our heart and soul into at all. And still get views. Like what is the cheapest shit that we can make that's gonna, you know, get that Star Wars craving that people want?
Okay, but you say that, but then at the same time, I'm still so confused why, you know, Obi-Wan, one of the biggest name in all of Star Wars, gets half the budget of the Acolyte. So it's like you're putting more money into something that isn't going to fulfill any Star Wars appetite.
They don't know that.
I mean, I guess
they didn't know that when they made Acolyte. They thought they were.
But why
thought they were.
But why is Obi-Wan getting a $90 million budget and Acolyte's getting a $180 million budget?
I don't know.
Now Andor is a show that took advantage of their budget.
Yeah.
It's the most expensive Star Wars show that they have. Mm-hmm. So I don't know.
I think a lot of that had to go into the sets.
Oh, for sure.
The sets were so good.
For sure. Because it's not like there was any huge name actor in there that's, you know, taking 20 mil off the top of that.
No.
You know? So, yeah, for sure. Another question is it the best piece of Star Wars content ever? I'm not going to go that far.
No.
Can't go that far. But I feel like one could argue it if you wanted to.
You could, and I wouldn't be mad at you for it.
Right. What other Star Wars topics do you want to see covered? Well, obviously, we've gotten a lot of prequels. Now,
I mean, I'm not against getting more prequels, but however, maybe in the sense of like, let's go back to the Old Republic. I feel like
I was going to say the Old Republic.
Yeah, I feel like the Old Republic is the best next option because we already are, you know, we're done with the Skywalker. Apparently, that's what the sequels were supposed to do. They were supposed to, you know, complete all of that. And now it's just like, let's go back in time and like start fresh again. You know, just give us new characters. And it's not like you're starting from scratch.
Right.
Like we have things that are not canon about the Old Republic that you can use and make them canon.
Yeah, you have the video games. Do you ever think they would touch up, bro? Oh, do you think they would ever touch up on like like Darth Revan and the first Mandalores? And
I mean, that's that era. It'd be dope. Like if they're gonna do if you're gonna do Old Republic, you gotta have Revan. You have to. So
why are they afraid of money, bro?
I don't know. Maybe they're scared of messing it up. I don't know. But I just think that'd be so. I just think it'd be so cool.
Yeah, it would.
There's a lot of cool stories in the Old Republic.
Where does Episode 8 rank among all of Star Wars TV?
Jesus, that's so specific.
Very specific.
That's so specific.
But let me say this, it's very high.
Yeah.
Episode 8 could possibly be the best episode in Star Wars TV. I will say it is in the top 5 of all of Star Wars TV. A few episodes that are up there, honestly, decent amount come from Andor and Clone Wars.
Yeah.
There's a few in Rebels as well that you could also consider for the top 5 spot, but yeah, bruh, it's I will say this. I think episode 8 of Andor is my favorite episode of television this year. Out of Invincible, out of Severance, out of
That's your favorite episode of all television this year?
This year, yeah.
Wow.
This year. I think it was just executed the best out of all of them.
A bold statement.
Whoa. Is bold the right word? What else would you put
Then
up
again,
there?
Michael's a bold guy. Sorry, I'm in Star Wars mode. Let me recall Invincible. Bro, Invincible versus Conquest?
Yes, it was great. 100%.
So
But episode 8, just like, it was just one of those episodes that you just had to let the credits roll, dog, because you're like emotionally drained from it.
It was a accumulation of a lot of things.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a very full circle moment.
Episode 4, Severance, was fantastic. When our guy, what's our guy, bro? I'm blanking. There's too many shows I'm thinking about right now.
Melchick?
Not Melchick.
Irving?
Irving B.
Do it, Seth.
Yes.
That
Fantastic episode as well.
Yeah.
But there was just like, I don't know. There's just something about episode 8 and 9 of Star Wars of Andor, that just was like pain. I like pain. So another question that we got from Jeter was top 3 characters. And I said, oh, don't worry. We'll be doing top 10 characters from Andor.
Yeah.
So we'll be doing that, and then our top 5 ranking of the episodes from season 1 in Andor. You going first this time.
All right.
I went first last time.
That's fine.
Okay. So, Garrett, what are your top 10 characters? Who are your top 10 characters from Andor?
Okay. All right. You know what? He had a very small part in this show, but I got to give an honorable mention to Karis Nemec. Do you remember him?
Oh, from season 1. Yeah.
He was the idealist.
Yes. What's the speech we hear at the end of season 2 as well?
Yes, it is, bro. And to me, he was like the true rebellion. Like he just was so dedicated, and
what he was saying made perfect sense.
I know, bro. He was so intellectual with how he thought about the rebellion.
What do you say?
And just freedom in general.
It's like oppression is unnatural. That's why
it leaks.
It needs constant. I
can't remember how he quoted it.
It needs constant attention, constant energy. That's why there's leaks, there's cracks.
Yeah. Their need for control is so unnatural.
Yes, that's it.
So yeah, I had to give him an honorable mention, bro.
If he made it throughout the show, I'm sure he would have.
Oh, he would have been a top 10 character for sure if he survived that.
Yeah.
Oh, bro, when he took off and got crushed, I was crushed. I was so sad when that happened. Yeah. I was like, he made it, bro. And he just got crushed by all the credits. Oh, that was sad. But all right. At number 10, I do have Lonnie Jung. You know, like he may not have loved his position in the Empire and doing all this undercover work, but bro, most of this show would not have been able to happen without the intel he was providing Luthen. So that was very important. And he was the one who tipped Luthen off about the Death Star and everything. Like, that's a very big role. He played a very important part in the show. Number 9, I do have Vel.
Okay.
I like Vel. Or we get more of Vel than we do Senta.
Yeah, we do.
I thought it was interesting how she, comes from this rich family and everything. And like, that's what's interesting about the rebellion is like, there's so many different kinds of people that join it, no matter their motivations, they all are there
And I mean, a rebellion needs to be funded some way.
Yes. But, no matter the motivation, they're all there fighting for the same cause. But I also like what they said about, how everybody is fighting their own rebellion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think, didn't Skeen say that in season 1? If I'm not mistaken, I think that's what he said. Sure. Everybody's fighting their own rebellion, but he ended up being a fake bitch. So, number 8, I do have Kino Loy. Bro, he is there for a small time, but makes such an impact.
It's a short flame, but that candle burns brightly.
Oh, it's so good, bro. It's so good. Andy Serkis, my goat, plays 2 characters in Star Wars.
Yeah.
He is Snoke and he is Kino Loy. Low-key might like him better as Kino Loy.
I absolutely like him better as Kino Loy.
Yeah.
We also don't get enough of Snoke.
No, we don't get very much of Snoke, but just seeing his transition from kind of almost being like a slave to the Empire because he just wanted to get out. And then once he realized that wasn't going to happen, he was like, fuck this.
I can't swim.
Oh, that was tragic. Bro, he made it. And then he couldn't swim. Number 7, I do have Bix Kayleen.
Okay.
I love my girl Bix. I love Adria Arjona.
Yeah. Yeah, no, this is where that crush came for you, the first season of Andor.
Oh yeah. Bro, I saw her in the first season. I was like,
understandably.
Who is that girl? Yeah. I had not really seen her in anything before Andor.
No, I think that's what really made her popular.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, damn. All right,
yeah.
Off of that. But I mean, she's still a great character.
I think I like her character more in season 1, though.
I do too.
Mm-hmm.
I do too. She has much more of a reserved role in this. I don't think she really wanted to be like that active in the rebellion. I think she was more so there for Cassian and everything.
I mean, it gets to a point where she feels like she needs to leave it because she'll be a distraction for Cassian.
Because she knew it was important.
Yeah.
And she just didn't want to be a distraction to him. But God, does she freaking goes through it in this show.
Yeah, she does.
And she really does show some resilience to, make it through all that and, not fall victim to like she was, addicted to drugs and everything like that. And it's really sad, but I mean, I was so happy at the end of episode 6 when they blew up that facility with that dude. And thank God they did. They didn't even know they were going to start using his methods everywhere.
Yeah.
Like he was going to start training people on how to do this interrogation method. So Jesus, thank God that didn't happen. At number 6 though, I do have Mon Mothma.
Okay.
Mon, great senator, great leader. I think what drags her down a little bit for me is I find her fear annoying at times. I feel like she's always very scared.
Paranoid?
She's not even paranoid. I feel like she's always scared of making the next move. She'll move the money. She'll she'll fight them in, the senator's room.
I think it's because she might have the most to lose at this point, though.
She kind of does. Yeah. And also her living in like the heart of Coruscant.
Yeah.
She's like very easy target once they like kind of pick her out. So it's understandable, but it just like,
not to mention she has her family.
Mm-hmm. Just very high status
Not a very good family, but
yeah. Yeah. Fuck her daughter. Daughter's annoying. Number 5. I have Clea. Clea has made the top 5 with season 2.
She better have.
Yeah. Do you have her higher? You probably have her higher. Nah, bro, I can't. I love Clea, but we don't get enough of her to put her over any of these ones that I have in the top 4.
I disagree by the end of season 2.
Really?
Yeah, I think season 2 we get a lot more of her.
Well, we do. But, yeah. All right, whatever. You just listen to my top 5. All right.
That's what I'm doing.
But bro, she held it down. Like when Luthen starts losing his shit, she holds it down. She's a badass. She can clearly handle herself. And she's a diehard rebel.
Mm-hmm.
She is a diehard rebel.
Maybe the most diehard rebel.
Possibly.
Could be an argument.
Yeah. There was no questioning her loyalty at any point. Number 4, I have Dedra Miro.
Okay.
Dedra's character is really interesting.
She's a compelling character.
She is compelling. Compelling?
Compelling.
Is there a pelican?
Dan from Real Takes, I was messaging him about the show. Because it's funny because when you were on their podcast and I told him, I was like, A, I'll be out of town so I can't join, unfortunately, but also I haven't seen Andor. He's like, you got to get on it, bro.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, I'm going to get on it. I blazed through it and I just saw his ranking of top 10 characters and he had Dedra at number 2. But he said, Dedra was really interesting because, they almost like make you like humanize her character and you almost feel like bad for her. But at the same time, there's no gray area as well. Like she's a bad person.
Yeah.
But also it's like you like kind of feel bad for her moments as well.
But at the same time, it's almost like she's a victim of the Empire at the same time. She's just kind of been like groomed into this role.
Yeah.
So
it's like he was saying how they did such a great job at, just fleshing out these characters.
Humanizing the people that we're supposed to hate.
Yeah.
Yes. No, and I think that's exactly the point of Dedra's character.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what it is. So yeah, very, very interesting character. A lot of layers there.
Mm-hmm.
So Dedra at number 4. Number 3, I do have Cyril.
Okay.
I liked Cyril a lot. It hurt to see him go. A character I never thought I would, gain an emotional connection to based off of that first episode.
Based off the first season.
Yeah, even the first.
You hate him the first season.
Yeah.
And
but he was still interesting because his in the first season, like his whole character just got, his whole life just got torn to shreds. He goes back to living with his mother.
And you see that dynamic that he has with his mother, which is very controlling
and also humanizes him.
Right.
So, yeah, no, bro, Cyril, he goes through it as well throughout this show, and it all started with Cassian and. It's insane what we see in episode 8, how here's Cassian. Who are you? Absolutely. Just to me, that's just mind boggling how much of an impact he has had on Cyril's life.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, who are you? I have no idea who this motherfucker is.
Yep.
Oh man, my poor boy Cyril. He got done dirty. At number 2, it is Cassian Andor.
Interesting.
Our main guy. The ultimate spy can infiltrate any facility he needs. Seeing his character arc in season 1 was really good. Going from, just a mercenary who wanted to get his money and get out and to actually believing in the rebel cause and realizing that the Empire needs to come down. Like that's the only way you're ever going to win is if the Empire is no more. Because otherwise he's just going to constantly be living on the run.
Mm-hmm.
And seeing his transition into like a rebel leader and everything too in season 2, even though he does not like to listen to his superiors at all and kind of still does what he wants.
Right.
But, Cassian's the GOAT. But
who's the real GOAT?
Who's the real GOAT? It's Luthen.
I knew it.
Bro, who else can you have at number 1?
Yeah.
All of this shit, just like Cassian was saying, it started with Luthen. Oh my God. I was so on his side in that last episode when he's yelling at the council that they have.
On Yavin.
Yeah. Oh my God. He's like, none of you have sacrificed anything close to what he did. I'm like, yeah, you're fucking right. You are right. Fuck these people. Who are these people? I don't even know them. And they're just disrespecting Luthen like that. I'm like, bitch, he did everything. He was doing everything on his own.
Yeah, he started it.
He did, man.
Crazy.
Oh my God.
And like,
I want to be in that room yelling at them with Cassian in that moment.
Starting it as far back as hitting Emperor Palpatine's home planet of Naboo.
Yeah.
In that one episode we see.
Uh-huh.
Started a long time ago for him.
Dude, yeah, he's been a rebel since day fucking 1.
Crazy. And also him just giving us 2 different characters, like him having to put on the front.
Switch. Bro, his switch that he does in season 1 is crazy.
Yeah.
Like the first time I saw him put on that wig and he does that little arm thing. He holds his arm like that. I was like, what is he doing? And then I see him in the shop and I was like, oh, he's putting on a character.
Yep.
He is an actor.
Yep.
He is a liar by profession.
Yep.
Crazy.
All right. Not too shabby. Not too shabby.
Luthen's a goat.
All right. These are my top 10 characters of Andor, including characters from season 1 and 2. Number 10, I do have K2SO. Now he comes in pretty late.
Yeah, he does. Which is why that's like the only reason he didn't make my list is because we get so little of him. But voiced by Alan Tudyk, I love that character.
He's so funny without even trying.
He is so funny.
And he's also a fucking unit to be messed with, bro.
He is.
Yeah. That hallway scene was scary.
It was.
One thing that I will say, one thing that Disney Star Wars has been able to get down is the hallway scenes.
Yeah. They like their hallways.
However,
there is just kind of a lot of hallways in Star Wars.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a lot of long hallways, whether it be in the ships, in the Imperial buildings.
Are you with us? No.
Bro, and when he picked up that guy and he's just holding him as a human shield, oh my God. Yeah. No, he made a strong impact.
For sure.
He did. That was like the best save that Cassian ever did. He was like, wait, help me load up this droid.
Yeah. Which honestly, in Rogue One, because those droids were a lot stronger in Andor than in Rogue One in terms of durability.
Yes. I noticed that too. Yes. I was like, bro, they are tanking blaster fire like it's nothing. Like it's not even damaging them.
Right.
And then I saw that in Rogue One and I was like, bro, why is that like damaging him?
Yeah.
Those freaking flew off of him.
Yeah.
In the show.
He went down a lot easier in Rogue One. Number 9, I do have Bix. Maybe pretty low, but she kind of takes a back seat.
She does
in
take
season
a back
2,
seat.
but only because like what her character is going through at the time in season 2. But like you said, she shows great resilience in this show. But no, I like Biggs. But like I said, I think
nothing else to say.
I got nothing else to say. But yeah, it shows a lot of resilience. 8, I do also have Kino Loy.
Kino Loy, baby.
The flame is short, but it burns bright.
Yeah.
Andy Serkis.
Kind of like Gorman.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Andy Serkis just given a masterful performance in this Star Wars universe.
On program.
Oh my God. Just to see like the development with his character in just a short amount of time as well. So great. And once he learned that he wasn't going anywhere, and as soon as he was leaving, he goes, there's no more than 12 officers on each floor. Like the answer that Andor was looking for.
He was constantly trying to get info out of him.
Yes.
And the second he was like, all right, we're breaking out of here. 12 men on each floor.
Yeah. Number 7, someone who you didn't have on your list. I do have Major Pardis.
Okay. I did think about putting him on my list.
I really liked his character.
He was an interesting character. I don't blame you for having him on the list.
I thought there was a lot of compelling Imperial characters in this show. Again, characters that there's no gray area whether they're good or bad, except for maybe Cyril. But they do offer humanizing characteristics to them, especially when that final arc comes around. He's like, give me a moment to capture my thoughts or whatever.
Yeah.
And
wild.
And it's crazy because like this is where a lot of like people within the Empire, they are victims of the Empire because failure is not an option in the Empire. And so we see that multiple times with characters in the show. Dedra, who fails, gets locked up forever. Cyril, who realizes like this is not what we should be doing, and because of that, death is what he falls to. And then like
it doesn't matter how high your rank is if you are not satisfactory or you get in their way. It does not matter what you've done for them in the past.
I mean, look at even Krennic in Rogue One.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna bring him up too. Yeah.
And
killed by his own fucking weapon.
Right. And I mean, Major Pardis just like was doing as much as he could for Dedra, but like they got to a point where he couldn't defend her in front of Krennic and all that. So it's just crazy how the power scale is based off of their ranking and based off of their rank. But I really liked this character a lot. Number 6, I'm gonna go Cassian Andor, our main character. So I think the reason why he is just outside the top 5 is there's not as much of an arc there for Cassian, in my opinion.
No, there's not, because he already had his arc happen in season 1.
But is that as he still has those doubts in season 2? You know what I mean? He still has his doubts of wanting to leave the rebellion in season 2. So
it wasn't even doubts. I think that was more about Bix, and that's why Bix left.
Even Bix aside, I think he still had his doubts.
Then why'd he stay when Bix left?
I mean, because where else was he gonna go?
Chase Bix down.
If
If he really, really wanted to find Bix and leave the rebellion, you're telling me he couldn't have done that?
I don't think he would have wanted to.
Exactly. Meaning he chose the rebellion. Bix helped with that decision by leaving. But he stayed with the rebellion, didn't he?
Yeah, in the end, he did choose the rebellion. But I'm saying, like, compared to these other characters over here, like, his character just isn't as compelling to me as this top 5 list. And that's just a fact. It's just a fact.
Whatever.
It's just a fact.
Continue your list.
Number 5, we got Mon Mothma. I think Andor adds a lot of layers to Mon Mothma's character. Also, I think her speech alone in episode 9, that definitely brings her into the top 5. I think that brings her into the top 5. And I mean, it's great to see like her important role in this rebellion as well. And her speaking out in the Senate, in the heart of Coruscant.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed that. And also, I mean, she's got to play a character too, just as much as Luthen at some parts as well.
To a degree.
To a degree.
But in reality, though, she's never hidden her resistance to the Empire. That's always been her thing. She liked having them look at her at like a surface level of like, oh, she doesn't like this policy. She doesn't like that policy. And she'll like speak out against that stuff in the Senate, but it was never anything crazy.
No. Number 3, number 4, Cyril Karn.
Okay.
I think we get a great performance there. Everything that you were saying about Cyril, just again, offered like a lot of humanizing characteristics to this Imperial officer. And just to see his arc from season 1 to season 2, completely hating him in season 1. But then like him having this whole realization in episode 8 of season 2.
You know what that scene reminded me of? Where like he was just like kind of standing in the middle of the chaos.
What's that?
From Pirates of the Caribbean, when the ship's getting destroyed and he's walking down the stairs in slow motion and everything.
Yeah.
That's what that reminded me of.
That's funny. You know what's crazy? I was dead ass thinking about that scene today.
Yeah.
Not because of Andor. I was just randomly thinking about that scene. I
Yeah.
was listening to the song and I was like, that is a gorgeous scene in Pirates.
It really was.
It's shot so well. Yeah, no, I don't know. I really dug his character, really compelling character. Moving into the top 3. At number 3, I have Clea.
Clea, top 3.
Top 3. And I think that final arc, those final 3 episodes, is what moved her
that was like
into
the
top
most
3.
we saw of Clea.
It's the most we see her, but we do see her more of her in season 2.
Yeah, we do.
And she definitely takes on more of a role in season 2. We get some great backstory with her, and just a fantastic performance. Number 2, I have Dedra Meero.
Damn.
I have her high, but I think, and Dan from Real Takes had her at number 2 as well. And I saw that. I said, that's valid.
Yeah.
That's valid. Very compelling.
So again, you're
Imperial
Jason
officer.
Tatum. Got it.
I'm Jason Tatum.
Yeah.
I'm copying. No, I've always found her character really compelling. And number 1, I do have Luthen Rail as well.
It's Luthen. If you have anybody else at your number 1 other than Luthen, you didn't watch the show.
Luthen, he really did remind me of the Saul Goodman of this universe. You think you got him figured out at points, but he's this gray area character where, he makes the decision that, may seem selfish, may seem unorthodox. That's not the right thing to do. But then he'll do things for the most selfless things for the rebellion. It's just his character that reminded me of Saul Goodman, where he will do something that just throws you off. You think you haven't figured out, and then he'll do something else. And it's like, oh my God, what? I can't figure this character out. I can't put my finger on it. I can't pinpoint him, but
yeah, bro. Honestly, like when he killed Lonnie, that was like the final straw where I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like I really couldn't figure him out.
But at the end of the day, the rebellion wouldn't be where it is without Luthen.
No, it wouldn't.
So
that's like possibly one of the most important characters in Star Wars. Not even. Yeah. That's not a crazy statement.
No.
Literally, like, was the unknown founder of the rebellion.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy to think about with all the Star Wars media that we have.
Uh-huh.
Luthen Rail, baby. Stellan Skarsgård.
I think that's the other part that puts Luthen on top, man.
He's such a good actor.
He's so good. He's so good.
And he just gets better.
I don't think I've ever disliked a Stellan Skarsgård role.
No.
I don't think I ever have.
Whenever he's on screen, you're just locked in.
You are. Bro, also just something about the way he talks is so captivating.
Yeah, it is. All right, so there's my top 10. Let's go ahead and give our top 5 episodes of Andor as well. Top 5 episodes of Andor. What do you got? This was tough. There's a lot of great episodes, bro. I wrote down 10, and I was able to narrow down 4. 5 is still tricky.
Yeah, 5 I feel like can go either way.
Yes.
How about you go first on this one?
Fuck.
I go first? Yeah, I went first on the last one. You go first on this one.
Shit. Okay. Ooh, this is tough. Fuck, bro.
So you're trying to decide 5 right now?
I'm trying to decide 5. Because I have 4 down.
Yeah.
Okay, so the ones I'm between on number 5 are What a Festive Evening, Season 2, Episode 6. Make It Stop, Season 2, Episode 10.
Mm-hmm.
And low-key, maybe even Harvest, Season 2, Episode 3.
Okay.
Season 2, Episode 10 is
that's the conversation between Luthen and Lonnie.
and Dedra.
And what?
And Dedra.
Yeah. That was Dedra's confrontation with Luthen.
Yep.
That was Luthen killing himself. That was Clea breaking into the hospital to kill him afterwards. That was all that in episode 10.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna go with that. Make It Stop.
Okay.
For number 5.
All right.
Number 4, I'm gonna go with The Eye, Season 1, Episode 6. The heist episode that we get. Also, God, beautiful looking episode as well.
Yeah. No, that was like one of the main selling points for that episode as well.
Number 3, I'm going to go with Season 2, Episode 9, Welcome to the Rebellion.
Okay.
Where we get Mon Mothma's speech in the Senate. Disney Plus, props to you for letting her say what she said.
Yeah.
Oh man, that speech was so good. What'd she say? Something about the distance between truth and a lie is an abyss now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or the truth and what's said in this chamber, I think she said. Yeah.
Number 2, I'm going to go with One Way Out, Season 1, Episode 10.
Yeah.
The Prison Break.
Mm-hmm.
Andy Serkis, masterful performances, Kino Loy, great character arcs in just that short amount of time. And also, like, the prison system itself was just very interesting.
Yes.
And the design of everything.
Yeah.
And
it was very unique with the way that they did it.
So
They're
unique.
all barefoot. They have this electrical thing.
Yeah, like, it's a very cleanly prison, like clean prison. Electric floors that they had, they're all barefoot.
That's one thing that I said on the Goodwill podcasting. I was talking about cultures and stuff like that. And I did bring up the prison. I was like, even the prison culture, because that's like another culture. And, they just like came up with this whole system of rules and, how it worked in the prison. That was another like unique, intricate thing. It wasn't just like, here's your cell. Like, it wasn't that.
Right. Yeah. Very interesting.
Yeah.
And then number 1, Who Are You? Season 2, Episode 8. Just pain everywhere. But goddamn, they executed that so well. Peak writing, peak Star Wars to its core.
Yeah.
That's number 1, bro. My mouth was on the floor. My jaw was on the floor.
All
right.
Here's my list. The top 5 episodes of Andor. Might sound slightly familiar.
Don't tell me you have like the same exact ranking.
Similar. At number 5, I do have season 2, episode 9, Welcome to the Rebellion.
Okay.
Of getting Mon Mothma out of there after her speech. Number 4, I have season 1, episode 6, The Eye, the heist of in the first season. At number 3, I have season 2, episode 10, Make It Stop.
That was a great episode.
Dude, I like that one so much. There's so much in it. Luthen shocking me by killing Lonnie. Him confronting Dedra after all of this time, and she had that unit. That was the original sale.
From season 1.
That was crazy.
Ooh, great callback.
And then him, sacrificing himself for the rebellion.
Yep.
Followed up by Clea breaking in the hospital.
Yep.
To finish him off because they could not afford for him to live and spill the beans. And Dedra also getting arrested in the same episode.
Yeah.
So, and the flashbacks. That's my number 3. Number 2, season 1, episode 10, One Way Out, the break out of the prison. And number 1, season 2, episode 8, Who Are You? We have the exact same top 5 episodes. The only thing is I switched number 3 and number 5.
Okay. And honestly, both could go either way. Like,
yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. No, I did like season 2, episode 10, Make It Stop. I did like that one a lot.
That was my favorite of the final arc for sure. And the backstory stuff was great too, but no, the confrontation between there's a whole galaxy out there waiting to disgust you. Like the rebel's is gone.
Bro,
it's not here anymore.
Oh, I love
across.
Yeah, he's like, you're too late.
You're too late.
And what I loved was his switch from
from
Luthen the salesman to the rebel. Oh my! While talking to Dedra, it was so good.
I just want to go watch that scene again.
It was so good, bro.
Oh, all right. Yep. So certified top 5 episodes.
Yeah. The fact that we both picked those episodes and we were and you didn't even have your 5 selected. You selected that one off rip.
Yeah.
That's great.
All right. Well, go ahead and let us know in the comments your top 10 characters of Andor. Let us know your top 5 episodes of Andor. Andor is peak Star Wars. What do you say?
All right. I just got one more.
You guys.
I just got a few questions for you before we wrap this up. All right. Is this the best Star Wars show ever? Period.
Ever. Period. Wow.
Including Clone Wars, including Rebels.
Right. I do have it above Rebels.
Okay. Is the main competition Clone Wars?
Yeah.
Because I think this beats out Mandalorian for sure.
I think it beats out Mandalorian.
Because that's like top 4 shows that people talk about. It's Mandalorian, Andor, Clone Wars, Rebels.
Both Andor and Clone Wars do a lot for Star Wars.
It does.
They do.
It expands the universe so much, which I think is why they're so valuable.
Yeah, both are very important to the Star Wars universe. I think people definitely have more of a nostalgic connection to Clone Wars, because obviously it's also filled with characters that you know and love, but also those characters get expanded on. And then season 7 is one of the greatest episodes of television as well. For me personally, though, I could go as far as saying it is the best.
All right.
Star Wars TV.
Has Disney redeemed themselves from the Acolyte with Andor?
I think Disney has redeemed itself, period.
Okay. I did hear Alex and Andrew talk about this. They were like, and I like this question a lot. Yeah, has Disney done more harm or good for Star Wars?
Right. Yeah, that's tough.
It is tough because, to be honest, at this point, it feels like pretty equal.
Yeah.
Because, they'll do the Acolyte, they'll do Boba Fett, they'll do Obi-Wan, which, has good and bad. And but then we also have episodes 8 and 9 to consider of the sequels.
I think it just became too clustered. Like they were just trying to do too much Star Wars. And Dave Filoni, who's done a lot of great for Star Wars, but then it got to a point where it's like almost a cameo fest. Yeah, no, it's tough.
Because even that was I'm pointing at Cad Bane. That was a completely wasted character in Boba Fett.
Fett, yeah.
He was there for like 10 seconds and then done.
But let's look at what Disney Star Wars is what Disney has given us as well. They gave us Rogue One. They gave us Andor. They gave us the final season of Clone Wars.
Mm-hmm.
They gave us Mandalorian.
Mm-hmm.
So it's tough. I mean, what? Do they greenlight the video games, or is that a whole separate?
I mean, technically that
because
does
it is
fall,
canon.
It does fall. Yeah, it's canon and it falls under the umbrella of Disney.
Okay, so then they gave us they have the video games as well.
That's true. They
Which
do
are
have the
positives.
2 video games. Yeah, those are positives.
Did they not give us? They also gave us Star Wars Rebels, right?
Yeah, I think that's also Disney. Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of looking like more positive.
Yeah, it's a decent amount of positive, but I mean,
like the low is low.
I guess when it flops, it flops.
Right. When it flops, it flops. But I would say more positives, actually, now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah. I think the sting of the sequels might not be burning as hard as it used to.
No.
Burning as hot, I guess.
Right.
But, who knows? Maybe my anger will be reignited when I go back and rewatch them, but, we'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, they could, I would say more positive than negative.
Here's the thing, though. They could always make up for that as well.
How so?
I mean, I think we are getting another Rey movie.
Yeah.
Right there.
All right. Well, we'll see. All right. And last but not least, pick a droid. Pick your companion droid. R2-D2, C-3PO, K2SO, BB-8, or BD-1.
Or BD-1.
Do you remember BD-1?
Remind me of...
Are you looking these up? What are you doing?
Yeah. Remind me of BD-1 again.
BD-1
from
Cal Kestis.
Cal Kestis, yeah.
That's his droid. BB-8 is the round droid from the sequels.
I mean, look here. In terms of each one has their positive, right?
Mm-hmm.
C-3PO is going to talk your way out of any situation. Speaking a bunch of languages, going to help you intellectually.
Mm-hmm.
R2-D2. I mean, he's R2-D2.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to help you out in any situation you find yourself stuck in. I was just rewatching A New Hope. Him stopping the garbage chute from squishing them.
Yeah.
Can K2SO do that? K2S0 do that? Like stop.
Bro, K2SO.
K2SO, whatever.
All right.
Can K2SO do that?
I mean, you saw him with his arm thing.
Yeah.
In Rogue One, he can access those terminals like that. Like he went into the brain of another.
Right. Yeah, you're right.
K droid.
Yeah, I think at that point, in terms of protecting you,
it's hard not to pick him.
It's hard not to pick K2SO.
Yeah, especially with how he's portrayed in Andor too, tanking blaster fire. Yeah. Dude, he was scary when he was coming after Cassian in that episode.
He also can fly the ship with Andor as well.
Uh-huh. He can handle blasters because he has actual hands.
Yeah, I think I'd have to go K2SO.
It's a good droid pick.
Yeah, he's also can play games with you as well. He was playing poker with them.
That was funny. Those scenes were funny.
Yeah, I'll go him. He's him.
All right. It's a good pick. All right, that's all I got.
All right. Well, that's going to wrap it up for this Andor episode. A long, juicy one for y'all. A lot of Star Wars content lately. Again, it feels great to fall in love with Star Wars again. And I'm sure we'll be doing, once we rewatch the original trilogy, we should definitely do an episode on that as well. Star Wars is cool.
It is cool.
It's cool. And it can be good.
Mm-hmm. Probably going to go home and watch A New Hope now.
Yeah. Yep. But let us know what your thoughts were on Andor. Again, make sure to leave a comment, drop a rating and review wherever you're listening to this podcast episode. Make sure to join the Patreon where we're doing some more giveaways, our final Epic Universe giveaway. We'll be having some new Fantastic Four merch dropping soon as well. That is going to be completely different from our usual merch. Really excited about that. And shout out to our Protector of the Realm of the month, Connor Roan. And shout out again to our Patreon community. And everyone else who supports this channel. And we'll see you next time on Duck Takes, everyone.
See you guys.